what sucks is I just recorded this not even a couple hours ago, and the game volume was way too loud. Feels good, man. Hi, I'm Wrath, and thought it was really cool that today they did the 2.4.3 thing for Diablo, where they did the Darkening of not New Tristram, but Tristram event, and I thought it was really cool that they did this because I'm one of those weirdos that enjoys seeing older games or like playing. Oh, that was pretty. Explosions. I enjoy seeing old seeing and playing old games and seeing how far they've progressed. Like when I was trying to record this, anytime I went back because I was full of loot, just like seeing the transition from this. So I think it's like nine axes of it's 8 axes of 8 axes of movement, the pixelated art, the different sound effects and whatnot. Jumping from that to what modern Diablo is today, it's just nuts, in my opinion. Excuse me. For this, I'm gonna go to about the 8th floor, and then I'll stop because this event, or what I'm in right now, the labyrinth, is a 16-tier dungeon, and if you're familiar with how Diablo, the first Diablo, or no, the third Diablo 3, how that kind of goes out, it does not. There are no dungeons that are like that tiered, or that are structured like this, like how I would envision a traditional dungeon. But then again, that's also like totally different because their idea of a dungeon is a small house and that's about it, whereas here it's like several layers to a single dungeon with different puzzles and areas to unlock, as far as what I'm seeing here. Unless of course this is a combination of multiple things, in which case that makes a lot of sense. But right now, with how Diablo 3 is, I'm kind of feel bad because I missed out on something that has like so much content to offer. If this is like the original, or if this is like exactly to the details outside of using a monk, or outside of using like the mechanics are for 3. So where's Nightmare? Like I feel like I missed out on something if that's like how detailed these dungeons are and how deep they are. I enjoy kind of doing these things where you climb down into the depths of something. This is one of the areas. Like, another thing I'm going to try to do here is like do the they have achievements for this little event, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to try and do some of those, or at least get a vast majority of them done. But I know one of them I can't get like immediately is the it's one where like you start out at level 1 and then you kill the Dark Lord. Like you start a brand new character and then you come and do this. Like, I see how that's doable if you're playing on lower difficulties, but I'm playing on Torment 7. Which, like, right now, it's Torment 9 or 10. Or it's, like, the perfect difficulty for me, and I enjoy having it a little bit difficult where I kind of have to think. But, as I said that, the previous time I tried recording, each time I went into one of these things, it was like, oh, they gang up on you, and they do stupid damage, man. Like, playing regularly, they don't do nearly as much damage to me as they do here. Oh, hello. Butcher, 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 butcher. Fresh meat, excuse me? Oh! See, like that. That's a boss. Like, why? That's not fair. Oh, what's really cool is they also have this, a whole bunch of old items, I guess. I would call them old items because I've never seen them before in 3. Where, like, their models aren't in 3, but you get to keep them. So, like, say I'm disenchanting stuff, right? It won't disenchant those old items because you can't get them except in this event. It'd be really cool if they kept this, but I have this feeling that they're only going to have it for, like, maybe this patch, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, so it's gone now, bye! What I think would be really cool is if Blizzard, or because I'm a guy who likes old games, Blizzard be like, hey, so we're going to, our expansion after whatever the next one is, because from what I saw online, that's going to be a thing, is it's supposed to explore on Leia's Soul, but anyway, they do something where it's like, oh yeah, so here's Diablo 1. Redone in using Diablo 3 characters and all that kind of stuff, but it's, like the base first game. That'd be pretty neat, in my opinion. Because then that means I wouldn't have to, set sail on finding the first one, if you catch my drift. Yeah, there we go. Come here. Haha, come on. Pew. Also, some of these monsters I've never seen before, which is really cool. Seeing this, like, little bit of history. I came in and started playing the Diablo franchise in the 3rd one, and it's nice kind of seeing where it came from. I remember reading this interview thing, like, things you don't know about Blizzard's games, blah, blah, blah. And, one of them was that Diablo was supposed to be a turn-based action RPG. And when you think about it, once the dude told you what was happening, it kind of is, because in the interview they said that everything takes a turn 16 times a second or something like that. It's an odd number, but I mean, heck man, whatever works, you know? If it works, then who am I to judge? Undying, Ascended, Pauldrons of Pain. Yeah, see, like, you don't see these kind of, or, well, maybe it's just because I don't pay attention. I should probably pay attention more, but there are some instances where, like, the items in here sound cooler. So, you know what happened? Oh. The hand following me is a pet that you can get, which is kind of cool. They have a really low drop rate, though. I don't know if you can only get them from the goblins, though. Because there's a goblin that's like like keeper of pets or something like that. Oh, King Leordic's tomb. See, this is another one. Like, they have all these different optional bosses. And there's things like that, like the Undead Crown. You can get that from anywhere and anything. Or you can get that from Leordic, and then when you go to mass salvage stuff, like me, I do that whenever I run out of stuff in my pack, because I've yet to find anything better than the gear that I have right now. If I could find better versions of my gear for my build, it'd be perfect, but it's chill. I also like how they changed the bottom part of the UI to like kind of fit the aesthetic of the first one. It's really cool. Oh, you're still alive. Now you're not. We're only a quarter of the way there, folks. Wonder what's at the end of this too. Blacklash the Burning. Wonder why he's called that. See, your pet's awesome. He's like, hey, so I know you don't want to pick up this gold, so I'll do it for you. But why can't you have him do that to like crafting materials too? I mean, I understand how that would make things like way too easy, but you can have that this enchantment thing or whatever that makes it like stupid easy. When you just are walking around, like say you're power leveling somebody and it's just a whole bunch of normal gear and you can spit it out and make it be like a legendary or something like that. You have that, but granted I also know it's not like the same thing. Die. Boop, 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 boop. Cooldowns should not exist. New hashtag. Hashtag cooldowns not required. Because game balance isn't a thing, right? Right? I mean... I think this is where you find the, what's it called? It's called like the, something of the blind, like Way of the Blind. You stop teleporting on me. You're not allowed to do that. You can die though. It's perfectly acceptable. Oh, another cool thing that they do in here is that, you know, the barrels, when you hit them, they actually, like, explode. Like, you know, traditional gaming cliches that just don't need to die. Although I can, like, even though I haven't seen these before, I can kind of see where they had to, like, make decisions. Like, for example, the Bone Gnashers, I just saw those were, like... I saw a recolored version of those. They were red, and they had another name, and I feel bad because I just killed a couple of them, but that's beside the point. What's over here? Yeah, that's level 6. What am I missing? I'm missing a huge chunk over there. Dashing Strike's so nice. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna skip this whole walking around garbage and do things. Because why not? No, it isn't. You just refuse to, so you need to shut your mouth. Book of Blood. Oh, yeah, so this is like... This is a cool little thing. You do... So like, you take this bloodstone, you put it on this pedestal, and it's this little activity where like... Put it on the pedestal, and it opens different areas. I command all of you to start jumping uncontrollably. Because Dead Mouse Amulet. Where's the other one? I think it's down over here. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, by the way, see, like, that, I deserve that. I can't just say that they, like, do tons of damage when something like that happens, because that was my own damn fault, but... Like that. Come on, man. He barely, he touched me. He looked at me weird. And I'm just instantly annihilated. I think you have to go... Yeah, that's it. And then over here's this cool treasure room. Okay, I'd like to understand why that won't work. Oops, over here. What's that? What is it? Visit the halls of the blind. Oh, wait, no. Acquire Ward's leg. Yeah, see, like, everybody in my clan's doing it. Or doing the event. Last time there was a... who's it? There was a little shrine thing there, so... I guess part of this is slightly RNG. Like, at least where those spawn, but... I mean... Doesn't change completely from original layout, because I remember some of this being, like, the exact same. Little hand looks like the Courage the Cowardly Dog hand that followed them around, I think. I remember there was an episode where that happened. When you think of Courage the Cowardly Dog, two things come to mind. One of the greatest shows to have ever existed, and how traumatizing it was watching some of those TV episodes. Like, where are those kinds of TV shows nowadays? There is nothing as horrifying as that. Like, stuff like, you know, Clarence doesn't count, man. That's horrifying in a different way. I'm talking, like, dark and twisted. Like the alien chickens, how they wanted to take Eustace's head off with a frickin' plunger. I mean, there's nothing that weird anymore, and it kind of makes me sad. Except maybe Uncle Grandpa. That might be a fair, like, I guess accusation, but or a fair, like, sort of comparison between weirds. But, like, I would argue, Courage is just infinitely weirder. And then look at this change, man. You go from this pixelated way of looking at stuff to it's all free movement. Everything's very well pixelated and whatnot. No, watch. So now everything's gonna go in my inventory, see? And to sort through that stuff later, just kind of toss it in here. I mean, we'll be reviewed someday. Probably not, but someday. And you go back to this, and you just see the change. I like it when my games are pretty, but this is nice too. I mean, all gold. I also really like how, like, the font is. And I know it's like a somewhat of a stupid thing to look at, I guess, but I know when it comes to presentation, sometimes the font can make or break something. Like, I like how bold it is and how it has, like, that look to it. Oh, stop it. Hey, while I was in Tristram, I should have, like... Oh, these things are horrible. Did I already go through everything? No, I didn't. It's interesting how you like if you want to like juke back and forth, you just kind of slide along that plane, or that way of movement, and not necessarily back and forth like you'd normally do in Diablo, or Diablo 3, which is kind of cool. It isn't negatively impacting how the game feels, so why would it bother? Like, see, that font right there, I should probably turn off my pet so I can look at it. Like, heck, man, if that was a font on or if a font for a much darker version of Diablo, I feel like the presentation of it is really, really, really nice. I'm one of those weirdos that enjoys how things are presented. Oh, you can't go in it because there's a door. I forgot. That's a thing. Oh, that's the Chamber of Bone. You find this book and it talks about how anyone who comes in never comes out. Come on, I can break 150. Oh, are you serious? Watch, it's gonna be this one right here that's not dead. Oh, he's dead. Never mind. This also does, like, in terms of like tone that I kind of understand versus the third one. I feel like this one has a like the settings are different, but like the lighting and stuff like that is so like has a darker, more like gritty vibe. I enjoy that quite a bit. It'd be interesting if they did something like this to whatever their next venture is with Diablo. Backtracking, my favorite. Actually, no, I have no room to talk when it comes to that. Yeah, I can do that correctly. See, if you're using this build and you use the dashing strike correctly, you can effectively use your dashing strike and your cyclone strike in unison that pulls everything together at the same time, so that you have just this massive mob density, and it makes things a lot easier. At least for this build, because this build relies on jump in the middle of everything, use cyclone strike, hit a few times to make sure your exploding palm hits someone. Then you then oh yeah, see, Book of the Blind, here we go. This is like the Halls of the Blind. So really weird. Yeah, this is really weird because you can't see the enemies until they're already really close. I love how my Crusader's just like, nah, fam. As they run the sword into their own body. Feels good, man. See, where's that kind of thing? Obsidian Ring of Zodiac. Reduce current cooldown when you abilities 1 second when you hit or with research. Oh! Anything in here? No, of course not. Oh, hello. Nightwing the Cold. Bracers. See, like, that font, I really enjoy that kind of font. I really enjoy the font. See, now watch. Because I pay attention to these things here, I'm going to pay attention to it in 3, and then I'll see that it's probably the same font. Watch. And if it isn't, I'll be sorely disappointed. Yay, level 8. I love how there's a point in time where, like, you're playing and your follower is just awesome because of how much health they have and all that. And then as you slowly but surely bring yourself up and out of being a complete weakling, you realize, oh, you're nothing more than a meat shield that has some form of crowd control that makes my life a little bit easier. Like, I don't think I'm wrong in that aspect, because you like meet some of them, they have these cool, oh, belt, I like that. Yeah, I've almost connected the dots. I win. Oh, wait a minute. There's something over here I haven't seen yet. Oh yeah, the Musty Tome, and then Czar the Mad. Is there anything here that I care about? Of course not. God, somebody is going to town on bosses down there. So I think I've seen that guy a couple of different times. Well, it's not everything. Sweet, well, we made it to 9. Let me check to see if there's anything else. Nope, that's everything. Next one will be 9 through 16 and killing the Dark Lord. So This is I'm Wrath, and I'll talk to you later, I guess.